Okay, so our next larger, one of the final things we have to do is swap over the radiator on the TT. Now we do have the front end on, and I said I was gonna put it kind of like back on to show you guys how to do it. And it's actually probably easier for me to show you with it off just for illustration purposes, but we're gonna be replacing it with this big boy right here. This is the ECS Tuning aluminum radiator. Very shiny, a little bit thicker than the OEM one, and a bit of an upgrade, hopefully for some heat dissipation. We're gonna start by taking the fan shroud off. So there's 4 T30s, 2 on each side. Now you should be able to just lift the fan shroud off completely, so we can get that guy out of the way. And then if we come over to what would be the front side of your TT or Mark IV, whatever, we have 4 more T30s on the front that hold the AC condenser and the radiator in. So 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So we're gonna pull all 4 of those out. There you go. Now it's fully out. What the hell is that that's dead in there? That's scary. What the fuck is that?
It's a dragonfly.
Is it?
Yeah. Ugh. Oh. Don't.
And now we just have to go ahead and swap the AC condenser over to the aluminum radiator. So we've got 4 more T30s for that. We can do that. And then there's just, if you're doing it this way, there's 1 more on the bottom there. And then this guy can basically go in the bin, other than the sensor we're gonna need. Move this out of the way. Now this would be the time that you could also do an AC delete, but this thing weighs maybe like 3 or 4 pounds, so it's not gonna make a real big difference for us right now. And we would like AC at some point. So get this guy. So you're gonna put that bolt back through there. Oh, did this come with new bolts? Because that is not gonna fit. Nope, they're all different. That's great. After a quick visit to the shops, we've gone ahead and gotten ourselves the right size bolts here. So these are actually M5s that fit into both sides of the radiator that we were missing with our kit. So I guess for you folks that might get your hands on one of these aftermarket, these bolts up on the back that hold the fan shroud in are M5s, and then also the ones that hold the AC condenser or the AC, whatever you want to call it, on the front here, those are also M5s. So we're just gonna slap those guys in really quickly, and then we'll put the front end on and get the hoses hooked up and hopefully put some coolant in it. And actually we're gonna do a flush with just straight distilled water to kind of clean everything up and make sure we don't have any old coolant from the engine. Drain that, and then we're gonna fill up the whole cooling system with the right stuff and let this thing get up to operating temperature for the first time today. We got some new washers as well. These are 3/16 fender washers. They're a little bit large, but they're gonna do the job for what we need. So just needed something that was gonna fit the M5 as well. We're gonna actually do the AC side once it's on the car because it'll just be easier for me. So we've got everything kind of like loosely on, just the 2 main upper bolts on the rad support. Now we'll get the AC done up. The next thing we have to mount up is our little after run auxiliary pump, which is this guy right here, that little fella down there. It's gotta go to the 2 T25 or T30 Torx bits right over here. And then we're gonna run the outlet to this little pipe down under here. And then we will get our radiator hooked up and we'll start filling the system just without it running or anything. And we'll see how much distilled water we can get in here. Hook up our sensors under the car because we don't have our fan control module or anything hooked up yet. And then we'll fire it up. But this is gonna be kind of a pain in the ass to get feed pipe on here. Hellcat. I don't know if you guys heard that. That thing was loud as hell. I think maybe that's supposed to rotate a little bit. So we're gonna have to do some hose repositioning. So just 1 sec. All the rad hoses and such are hooked up. So we're gonna go ahead and start filling up, start hunting down some leaks if we have any, and hopefully we don't. Here we go, I guess. Like I said, we're just starting with deionized and distilled water, just to make sure that we've got everything hooked up and to flush out some of the original coolant. And as long as we're not ending up completely on the ground immediately, I think we're gonna be pretty okay. But obviously pressurized and hot coolant behaves a little bit differently. Definitely hear it filling everything up. Good sign so far. Now I don't actually know what the capacity of the system is. I read online somewhere that it said it was 5.8, but I definitely don't think that that's very much. You can hear it filling up somewhere over there. And I don't think it's taken any more. It's about Actually, yeah, about 6 liters is in there. Just leave this for a second. Gonna squeeze some hose and see if we can't get it to burp. And then I gotta change the battery on the camera really quickly. Oh, there you go. I forced another bubble out. Quickly commandeered one of the boys' batteries, and I should probably make sure I have the alternator hooked up so I don't kill it absolutely. Now let's throw this battery on here. And yes, I do not have the battery tray in here yet because we have not gotten that far. Now I have no idea if this battery is even going to be any good, so bear with me here. Let's see if this thing will start, I guess. Hell yeah. God damn, she loud as hell. Oh, we're definitely low on power steering. I was like, what? Something sounds loud, but it's my power steering pump, so I'm actually gonna fill that. It's starting to idle a little funny. Okay, I'm gonna shut it down. We're gonna check it for codes really quickly, clear them, and then fire it up again. Ignition activation cylinder 1. Camshaft position sensor, high input. Ignition activation cylinder 2. Power supply terminal 30. Okay, so we're gonna just clear these. Clear everything and just see what kind of comes back. And hopefully you guys can even see the screen right now. But anyways, engine stuff's cleared. We'll restart it here and see kind of how she goes. Nothing so far. So it could have just been pre-existing stuff from when we had the ECU flashed and the old engine was still in here. We'll let her warm up a little bit, get some of that coolant cycling. Oh, we got smoke. Or something's getting hot. Yeah, out the back. It could also just be the everything kind of just burning off of the exhaust. Because remember, this engine hasn't run in a while and we have used a lot of WD-40 and stuff on here, but we'll let it run for another minute and then we'll shut it down here if it gets any worse. Even though it's just a little bit, I just don't like that. It doesn't really smell like oil, it just smells like burning. Drained a little bit of coolant out, or coolant, I should say, water, just to kind of see what the color and everything was, but we're gonna start it back up now. And now we've got the AC lines and everything are hooked up now. So we'll let it get a little bit closer to operating temperature and yeah, just monitor it for codes. Watch the smoking again, see if it kind of comes back. I did a little bit of a cleanup. It didn't look like it was leaking oil, so probably just like WD-40 and stuff. And we're already starting to get some heat on the dash, which is good. So I'm actually gonna roll the windows down, get the heat cranked in the car to get as much of the air circulating as we can. Just let it keep running. The smoking isn't getting too bad, so I'm not too worried about it. We are getting some heat into the water, so we'll just make sure the thermostat opens and we get some coolant flow. No fans kicking on quite yet. Still no heat in the cabin. So we've hooked up a whole bunch more sensors and everything, like we hooked up the horns and stuff along the bottom here. But other than that, I don't really know what else we can do at this point. I mean, it idles pretty damn good. So I also realized I might have the wrong wideband sensor in there because the one up around here is a little bit too short. I do have another one in the car that I can get in there, but I'm not going to worry about it today because it's connected and it works. So we'll see if we need it. And that could also be our issue too, is it might just be overfueling because I don't have the right sensor in there, but I don't have any check engine lights. So there we go. Put some G12 in there and we'll call the cooling system done. We haven't had any leaks or anything yet, but you never know. Things can develop over time. So yeah, that little bit of revving cleaned it up and now it's not smoking anymore. Damn, all right. Ciao. We got some good coolant flow now, and it doesn't look like it's changing color, so I think we're good to probably drain about half of it out and then add some concentrate. Oh, that's warm. All right, there we go. And as you can tell, not very dirty. So that is a win, I would say. Let that gurgle over a little bit. All right, fire it back up, and we'll call cooling system done. So there we go, the cooling system on the TT is officially done, ladies and gentlemen. That will do it for today's video. If you are new here, do not forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more TT build stuff, but peace out. I will see you in the next video.